When I was much, much younger, about 9 or 10 maybe, and someone would say, "Oh, hello, what's your name?" as you do to children. I would say, "My name is Mary." But it wasn't, it was Virginia, but I thought it was rather posh. Because all the other girls at school were Margaret, or Molly, or Kathy, or something.
But you're Ginny now.
Yes.
Everyone knows you as Ginny.
Yes. Except officially when they say, "What's your name?" or you have to fill out forms, you have to put... Yeah. And the story behind the name Virginia comes from America, where my father was in America and my mother was expecting me, and he was in the state of Virginia, and when he came home, that's what he called me. When we were younger, as far back I can remember, about 6, during the summer holidays from school, we didn't wear shoes or sandals. Just ran about bare feet. Didn't think much about it because children don't. And was reminded we were barefooted when we stood on a bee on a clover or a flower of some kind. Didn't bother us. But when we went back to school after 6 weeks holiday, it was strange going back into shoes. Well, I had my 2 sisters and brother, and they were barefoot.
So what was the first pair of shoes that you remember clearly that you had to put on as a child and wear them all the time?
The first pair I can remember hurt my feet. And it was very painful, I remember. And my school teacher at that time used to take them off while I was in class.
She would take them off?
She used to take them off because my feet were so painful. And she used to look after me, I think she did. She was lovely. She looked after me. But when it came to putting them back on, when school closed, very painful.
Do you remember this woman's name?
Miss Gillis. Lovely teacher.
That's a kind thing to do, isn't it?
Oh yes, yes. And also I remember when I got in from school and we were allowed out to play, we went into the woods, which of course children can't do now, and we came upon this gypsy encampment, and I had hurt one of my foot, yes, and one of the ladies in the encampment got my foot and put it on her lap, and she was rubbing it with oil. And she was saying, "Your foot's going to be all right, your foot's going to be all right." It was probably the shoes that did it, but... And I can remember that, which would make me about 6 or 7. Yeah, because there were acts of kindness, and you remember acts of kindness.
What do you miss most from the 50s and 60s? I mean, I grew up in the 50s and I remember the 60s. So what
do I miss?
Mm.
I miss the friendliness that people used to have. I miss the neighbourliness as well from the neighbours. It's gone. I miss the quietness of the people. It seems to be very loud nowadays and hostile. That's how I see it. And I miss the way that the girls and the young ladies used to dress. When I met my husband-to-be, I was about 17. and he wanted to take me somewhere special. And I thought, I've got to get something nice to wear. And so I vaguely remember buying this blue dress, and of course in the 50s dresses were very beautiful. And I thought I have to get something for my feet to match the dress. And so I went to the shoe shop, and she had these blue sandals. Yes, blue pleated, sort of pleated sandals across the foot, blue pleated, and a strap. And I thought, that's what I'm looking for, to go with the dress, to go out with my husband to be, who I didn't think was my husband to be at the time. And I thought I was so beautiful, and very pleased with myself. And he did compliment me. Not on the shoes, on the dress. I don't think he noticed the shoes, but I did. And I wore them most of the summer. And I have a good memory about these sandals.
What's your husband's name?
Charles.
Charles.
I was only 17 then.
How old were you when you got married?
18, and I had my first child at 19. Who now lives in South Africa.
Do you ever go and see?
He has asked me to visit,
Oh.
but I haven't got the courage to fly. He said, come and visit, I'll pay your fare, I'll do everything, and I'm nervous of flying.
What about your husband? Has he said, come on?
Oh, he just says, come on.
Hmm?
He's not afraid of flying, but I am. And so we see them when they come back home. I have to settle for that. Unless a miracle happens.